everybody. Welcome back to Startup Art Therapy to Rewire Your Brain. We took a little bit of a break because I actually moved to a different country. And so we needed to take a few months to regroup, packing, selling everything in the US and reestablishing in Mexico, where I now live in the Yucatan Peninsula. It's a beautiful, beautiful place with beautiful people, and I'm so happy to be here, part of this incredibly rich culture. And I speak fluent Spanish. I started in the 7th grade all the way up into the university level immersion, and I've traveled in lots of different countries, and I'm ingratiated and immersed in the Latino communities. So I am super happy to bring my services, and my goal here in Mexico is to work with the Mexican government, the departments of education, the juvenile detention centers, to continue bringing my programs to the people who need it most. A lot of these detainees at the border really have a lot of trauma. So that's a big goal of mine here in Mexico. But I guarantee you and promise you that I am still absolutely committed to working with the Native American tribes of the US and Canada to help rebuild First Nations people, as well as the indigenous people here. And one of the things I love about Mexico is that Claudia Sheinbaum, who is one of the most world power women in the world, she is the La Presidenta of Mexico, and she has declared that 2025 is the year of Indigenous women. So I have never heard of another country acknowledging Indigenous women ever. So I'm super happy to be part of the fabric and on the ground level of Mexico rising to be a world power, because there's so much infrastructure, so many resources, and it's a really sovereign nation that they don't need to depend on anybody for imports and things like that. And she's one of the, Claudia Sheinbaum is one of the women that are one of the only world leaders that's actually standing up to Trump and saying, no, enough, bastante. Okay, so I'm happy to be here with you. In this video, we're going to talk about minority health, because April is Minority Health Month. And minority health, we understand, minority health to be very compromised, not only to access to healthcare. When they do have healthcare, it's very subpar. But we're going to talk about, not just in the US, but we're going to talk about globally, and what I'm seeing in Mexico, the impacts of mental health from discrimination and racial trauma. And I'm seeing a lot, especially in Mexico right now, because I live in an international city, and there's a lot of people that have come into gringos, white people, but people from all over the world, but they come here to enjoy a more relaxed, slower paced way of life, cheaper, don't pay taxes, they're not even residents here, they're really here illegally. And that's something that's actually being addressed. I actually went in through the immigration process and got a 4-year residency card, and that will be made permanent in 4 years. So, and I'm going to be paying taxes and going through the correct channels. So I'm not trying to mooch off of this country. I'm here to help and bring my startup art therapy programs to the Mexican people, to the indigenous people, and it's a very exciting time. So, and being here and being part of this incredible infrastructure that's being built out and becoming a world power, and seeing how Mexico is going to change, it's really exciting to be part of that. So about minority health, we know that there are disparities in access to healthcare, and when they do get good healthcare or any healthcare, it's actually not good healthcare, it's subpar healthcare. And this happens in the US with Native Americans, with Black communities, with Latino communities, and all underserved communities and people of color, unless they are somebody of means. So, one of the things that I've noticed, not only in the US, but also here in Mexico, is the impacts of racial trauma and discrimination within their own cultural group. So when I was living in reservations in South Dakota in the US, I was witnessing on a daily basis a power differential between different Native Americans who, thought they were better because they had white blood, or they thought they were better because they had full blood Native Americans. So, and just seeing how this inequality exists and perpetuates intergenerational trauma and creates internalized oppression. So they actually start believing they're not good enough. And you see this with, for example, there was a young woman on Pine Ridge Reservation. Somebody had told her she was a dirty Indian. One of her own people, an actual Native American, through social media called her a dirty Indian or something slang similar to that. And she went out and committed suicide because, these are the things that really impact mental health. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit of what I'm seeing here in Mexico, and seeing the Mayan people being treated lesser than by the mixed blood Native Mexicans here, and the Mexicans or the Argentinians that actually consider themselves white because they have, had so much different, European blood, mixed race, that over time they actually become very light skin, light eyes. I actually can pass for Mexican because of my Spanish, but I look like I could be from the border. Sinaloa, Jalisco, they have very light skinned people too. So, but and definitely Argentinian. So I just wanted to talk about how the what I'm seeing, and even the gringos coming here to take advantage of some of the benefits of being in Mexico, and how I've seen them treat some of the workers. And when I go, it doesn't matter where I am, what country, who my server is, I'm going to ask them their name. I'm going to make conversation and make them feel human. And it's about kindness. And, we're not better. Nobody is up here and nobody else is down here. We're here together. And we need to really address this issue with classism, because that discrimination and the judgment and the rudeness can actually really play a significant role in depression, anxiety, social anxiety. We're talking about priming and kindling in the brain, where there can be one experience that happens that is, racial trauma, and it can actually start this whole brain reaction where it creates a trauma loop and can create social anxiety. It can create agoraphobia. It can create a lot of isolation for somebody. So it's really important. And my message today is, we're here together on this planet. We're all human. We're all one. And we don't need to discriminate somebody because of their color of their skin or what their profession is, right? And we're equal. We're equal. So it's all about being kind, and what can you do today to be kind to somebody? And, the random acts of kindness, make it a way of life, not just a once every so often kind of thing. Find somebody that looks like they might be an underserved minority and start a conversation with them, or even if you don't speak their language. So, and when I see, the natives of Mexico here and all those Mayan beautiful people, and oftentimes Maya, they have, or whatever, Zapotec or Huichol, any kind of other indigenous person here, most oftentimes Spanish is their second language. So they might not even be good at communicating in Spanish, but you just make it work. Just reach out, and when you say buenos dias, buenos tardes, buen noche, they love that, and you just get a big smile. And when you approach somebody of a different culture, ask them how they're doing first, instead of just getting the information, your question answered, and then taking off, because that's a very white thing to do. And I keep seeing a lot of gringos here that are used to kind of just treating people, like a piece of meat that, to get something from. So connecting with your heart, with your energy, and trying to speak their language, being kind, and helping people understand that you're no better than them, even though you might have nicer clothes or have a different color skin. That's my goal, is to heal the people and make everybody feel welcome and warm and accepted and embraced. So yes, healing the people heals the planet. So thank you for being with me, and we're back now and going to be doing videos regularly, and I look forward to seeing you. And if you want to reach out, you can contact me directly, Carey, Carey, at startuparttherapy.com. Heal the people, heal the planet.